Tim, what did you say?
I put, you can use it, because you can use the other side and you can still use the edge of it.
Still use the edge? Okay. How would you use the edge? Can you help me understand what you mean?
It's kind of straight on the edge.
Uh-huh.
Like, only normal rule, but the rest is practical.
Okay, great. Najari disagrees with Tim.
I said no because when you measure, you always have to start at the 0, and he can't measure because there's no 0 on the ruler.
Zero's chipped off. Okay. And Nicholas?
I say no because the front is chipped off and you don't need that piece in order to get a full, complete measurement. But I kind of still say yes, except you just have to. It's like that would just be 1 inch right there,
Uh-huh.
and that'd be 2 inches. So you can still use it like that and just go down to 0. So it's
Oh.
like no and yes.
So you say yes, because you could use the 1. Could you show us that again, how you're going to use that 1? I didn't follow that. I'm not sure everyone saw that.
So like if you're measuring this, that part, that would just be 1 inch right there.
Oh.
If it was longer, that'd be 2 inches there instead of,
So you could treat the 1 as if it was 0.
right.
I would say yes, you can because you can measure a pencil, a pen, and the dry eraser.
Could you show us how you would do that, please? I'll give you the dry eraser. All right, go ahead. So what's the measure of that?
Like 3 and 1/2.
How'd you get that? I'm not sure I saw that. Does everyone see what Jawar is doing? I think we all need to look.
3 and 1/2.
Where are you starting your measurement, Jawar?
That's the 1.
Oh, at the 1. All right, now that you have seen these different ways of thinking, would anyone like to make comments or observations or questions? Okay, Amani?
When you measure probably a pencil, you use a pencil. And what about this part? What number are you starting on? And I like the jars because she told us that every time if you get a regular rule that's not broken, what part do you start on? You start on a 0 instead of a 1. So I was thinking about the jar said you always have to start with 0. So I would say no.
So you would disagree that you could use that edge? Okay. Micah?
I disagree with the jars because you can start from the 1 and just go a number down.
Okay, so you agree with Najari that we start at 0, but you agree, but you say that something else could stand in for 0?
Like the 1 could mean 0 and 2 and 1.
Okay. Najari, would you like to respond to that?
I actually don't think that you could do that because if you're measuring a pencil like this and you start at the 1, you're not getting the right measurement because you're not getting the full length of the pencil unless you start at the 0.
Okay, Micah, do you have a response to that? Because you would have to convince Najari that it's still possible. Would you please get up and show us so we can all see?
You would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that equals 7 inches.
So what number does it line up with? It lines up with the 8, but it's 7 inches long because?
There is 7 spaces between the numbers. Or that you don't got the 0, so you count the 1 as a 0.
Right, Najari is saying you better be careful that you line it up. And she's right. Micah's saying, but if you line it up on 1 and go out to 8, and you keep in mind that you started at 1, not 0, is that what you mean? Okay, does everyone see Micah's point? Okay. Tim, in light of what they've just said, what do you think?
I think the jar is right, but I disagree with Micah because if you, well, I'm pretty much saying the same thing as in a jar. If you don't start at the 0, then it won't equal the same. It's still lined up.
With 8. Okay. So what do you have to do in your head to make this work? It's lined up with 8.
If you start at the 1, then you just have to make it 7.
Just subtract the 1.
It's 8 if you start at the 0, but it's 7 if you start at the 1.
Right?
Could I start at 2?
Yes, but then you would subtract 2 to get the right answer.
Really?
Start at the 2, you still have to subtract 1 instead of 2.
Destiny said you'd subtract 2. If you started at 2, you'd have to subtract 2 from the number at the end. You're saying no, that's not true.
If you started,
If you start from the 2, then you go all the way to 9, and to get to 7, you would have to subtract 2.
I know, but then it'll be 6 inches instead of 7 inches.
Destiny, I think you need to go show Tim exactly what you're talking about. Let him see what you're talking about.